Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for March the 8th, 2011. Now our first position for tonight is going to be in the dollar yen trade. We're going to be looking to trade this long. Our triple EMA cross is still to the downside. However, there's a number of indicators suggesting that the dollar yen is going to push higher in the days ahead. Now, looking at things, we can see here our key level of resistance or support, depending on how you're looking at it, is 82.36, 82.22, and 82.21 with a close of 82.23. So we can see that all three of the predicted moving averages are basically all stacked on top of each other. So from that point, what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to start looking at our multiple crossovers as identified by Vantage Point. Now our first position here, our short-term crossover, or not our position, I should say, our crossover, we can see has crossed to the upside several days ago. So this is a good early warning sign that the dollar yen is moving up and the yen is weakening. We can also see this in the predicted short, medium term the predicted short and medium term differences, are also beginning to move higher. Now, looking at our medium-term crossover, this is the one I find of the most interest here, is this is getting ready to cross to the upside. Now, our long-term crossover from Vantage Point, again, is not confirming a break higher, but something very interesting that I want to point out, when I'm looking at this potential bullish trend forming here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the predicted high-low difference, it's not the predicted high-low difference, but it's the predicted range from Vantage Point. This black line is the predicted low, this red line is the predicted high. You can see that 2 of the last 3 days, or actually let's look at it this way, 3 of the last 4 days we've broke above Vantage Point's predicted high for the day. Now our range for tomorrow is a little bit lower, but in my opinion it still remains bullish. So looking at these indicators, when we can see whenever that the Vantage Point back here, we can see this back here at the beginning of February, we broke the predicted high a few times. Next thing you know, we've got about a 200 pip move to the upside. Now I'm not saying we're going to have a 200 pip move here, but I'm saying that it does look to me that based on this analysis that it is going to move higher. So now that we've identified we want to buy this thing, we know where the support, the resistance, we can see all these things. Where do we want to get into this trade? Well, let's pull up what we're going to do here now is we're going to pull up our Vantage Point daily report, have a look at the predicted high and the predicted low and see what's happening. Now a little bit of a concern here, we've closed at 82.23, which is a little bit below Friday and a little bit below last Thursday, but still higher than these other days. We're basically in somewhat of a consolidation mode here. But looking at this, we've got 81.94 and 82.58. Now the neural index is down, but the neural index again is a 24-hour indicator. It's not a long-term trend reversal type of indicator. So I'm not putting a lot of stake in that neural index at this particular time. I'm suggesting that it is accurate though. It's telling us that the market's going to move lower, but when it moves lower, we're going to use that as a buying opportunity. So for tomorrow, about the 81.97, 81.99 area, that's where we're going to be looking to get into our buy position. Stop here, I would like to see about a 70 to 80 point stop down around 81.20, 81.30 minimum. And our predicted high for tomorrow is 82.58, but in my opinion, we've got a real shot at getting towards 82.90, 82.80 area. So it's about a 1-for-1 trade. And again, I do like this dollar yen trade regardless whether the equities sell off or not. I think that the yen is going to continue to weaken. It's a funding currency. It's starting to lose its safe haven status. So again, everything looks good there for the longs. Now that's our first position for tomorrow. Now our second position for tonight, we're going to be looking at the E-mini natural gas contracts. Now this one certainly does look interesting to me. 2 indicators that I look for here is the predicted true strength indicator and the predicted MACD to move up off the trigger. We can see that we've had this consolidation period here for about the last week, and the trigger is moving to the upside on both of these indicators. Our predicted short-term difference is beginning to break higher. This is a clear warning sign that natural gas is getting ready to move higher. Now let's have a look at our crossovers and see if they're actually supporting this. We can see that our predicted short-term crossover from Vantage Point also supports this long trade. Now our medium and our long term may not actually support this, but you can see that they're flat, and the predicted medium term crossover is very, very close to making that cross, and we've had another bullish day. Now our long term is also hugging. The blue line and the black line are absolutely hugging each other here, and when we see this, this is usually the sign that a bigger move is coming. So once more, let's go back and bring up our high-low range from Vantage Point and see what's happening here. Now our predicted low, we can see that the candlestick here represents Vantage Point's predicted high and low. That presents actual market data for today, but you can see that it hasn't hit the predicted high or the predicted low, but it's these candles remain bullish, and it's today we've slightly broke above the Vantage Point predicted high for the day, and we've actually touched the Vantage Point predicted low to the day to the number. So for tomorrow, what are we looking at? Well, not only are we looking at it from a day trading perspective, but in my respectful opinion, we're looking at potentially a bigger move back towards that that 480 range. Now, again, looking at our close, we always want to make sure we're just having a quick peek at these closes, because the close of the day is a big thing with me, because it can determine whether I'm going to have right off the bat, are we going to be bullish tomorrow, or are we going to have a big pullback? What's it going to be? Well, we've got 378, 381, 392. You can see a pattern building here. That's what now this also, the low for the day, the real market data, 376, 373, 373. Not overly bullish there, but again, the high, 387, 382, 393. So we're getting a little higher there. So for tomorrow, what are we looking at based on all of this analysis? We've got the neural index here now has turned positive after 4 consecutive down days. So that neural index turning positive, we can see that our predicted short-term differences also turned positive. Everything here looks pretty good. So 382 is the area we want to watch. We're looking for the initial move on the day trade to back to the $4 range, but in my opinion, in the days and weeks ahead, we should be looking towards the 430, 450, 470 area in the not too distant future. But you can still make some pretty decent money here day trading. But again, your medium term traders, you definitely want to be eyeballing, you definitely want to be eyeing that, at least the 440, 450 area, in my respectful opinion. So those are the market positions for March the 8th, 2011. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.